Okay, is everyone came? Yeah, good afternoon. Is everyone came? Shall we start? Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Okay, good. Uh, 13 attendees. Okay, let us wait for 2 3 minutes more. Okay, start. Okay, I think enough people have joined now. Let us start. Okay. So we were studying about the designing a learning system in which we have already stated that how the well-posed learning problems are to be given. We have to given the task, clearly specify the task, a performance measure, and you have to put the some experience to solve the problem, isn't it? So, for example, we have taken in the case of checkers, a game similar to the chess, in which the task is that play the checkers. Isn't it? Performance measure is that the percentage of game won against opponent, and your experience is that the playing practice against itself. Okay, so these three things are required. We have already learned about that. Problem should not be should be very interesting. It should not be similar to like sorting a numbers. It should not be an ill-posed problem, isn't it? We have learned about that while designing a learning system. There should be we need to choose the training experience. We choose the target function. We choose a representation parametric fitting algorithm, and then we have to evaluate the entire system. We will going to study now all these steps in details in term of checkers game, right? So suppose a checker is a game, or you can take similar to chess. Chess is a game in which your task is to play chess, and whenever you're designing a machine learning algorithm in which a system is required, in which that system plays the chess with a expert, isn't it? So before making that system as an to play with an expert, you will make that system play with itself, isn't it? That is your experience. then how you will measure that whether that system can be win against an expert. So you will use the performance measure, that percentage of games it won against the opponent, and the opponent while training is itself, isn't it? And your task is to play checkers or a game similar to chess. So in fact, those who are interested in this, I shall study that you study about, you must see about on YouTube or other sources that how to play checkers game. It's quite similar to chess, but maybe something that you required while designing the problem. So today class we were doing about that. We were designing a machine learning system in which that we will be making a system that can be that can be play against an expert or a beginner or anyone, isn't it? We are going to design a machine learning algorithm which can play chess, isn't it? So these are the steps we need to consider. We need to choose the training experience, we need to choose the target function, we need to choose the representation, we need to choose the parameter fitting algorithm, and then we need to evaluate the entire system. We will do these steps in terms of checkers. These are the basics. Last time we have already done this. That what could be the training, supervised, unsupervised, isn't it, target function, what it should contain, make it as easily as possible, integrate all prior information, isn't it? Uh, it should represent the input data, estimate the parameter, optimize the functions. While after designing, it will become a complete system, isn't it? Machine learning system. So we were going to study that how to play the checkers, isn't it? So checker is a game in which is similar to your chess, but on one side you have uh, red color, and on one side you have black color pug. So you have to play checkers. So you have to think how to play checkers. If you want more detail about how to play checkers, then you can see over the net. But in just a minute, sir, if you are sharing the screen, it is not visible. Screen is not visible. Well, my screen is visible now, or it is still not visible. Okay, okay, fine. Thank Ashish. Okay. So we will learning about we will making a machine learning algorithm which can play checkers, isn't it? You can say that on one side a player is playing that is playing red bubs, and suppose machine learning algorithm is playing black bubs, isn't it? So our task is that we should play checkers. Our performance measure is that percentage of games won against opponents. We need to choose an experience. We must know what exactly should be learned, how it shall be represented, what specific algorithm learn it, isn't it? So these are some questions which we need to answer while making a machine learning algorithm. How much experience we should give it to, isn't it? What exactly should be learned, how shall it be represented, and what specific algorithm to learn it. So to learning to play checkers, we first need to choose the training experience, isn't it? We need to choose what kind of experience we give. So two kind of experience we can give. One is direct, other one is indirect experience. Now what is indirect and direct experience is, suppose while playing checkers, isn't it? The game is this game is such a way that when a black pug move, isn't it? Then red pug move two ways or left, right, which side? isn't it? So if you make this in a direct way, isn't it? Uh, so that it will automatically see that someone told it that okay, that has suppose move have two 2 points horizontally or 2 points vertically, isn't it? So you should move your red bug 2 points vertically, isn't it? So who will tell this? It will be given by some experience. Now, if that experience is given directly by some teacher, isn't it? Is someone saying something? Aryan Sichan. Aryan, are you saying something? Abhinav Pathak, no. Still my screen is not visible. But it is saying, it is showing me that it is visible. In your visibility area, it is coming that it is visible. Please check. Isn't it? Uh, so direct experience is that when some teacher told you that the move you have made is correct, isn't it? This move that you have moved the red pug by 2 steps vertically, isn't it? For example, you have moved red pug 2 steps vertically, or when a black pug move 2 steps horizontally, so that is the correct move. Uh, if some teacher give it that yes, it is correct, isn't it? When some teacher give it, it's correct. Then message came, Rahul. Rahul, my screen is not visible. But it's showing me that
Yes, sir.
is it visible? Learning to play checkers. Rahul, now you said that it is visible. Not visible. What should I need to? Uh, shall I share it again? I don't know, but it's showing me that it is visible. Okay. Pooja Yadav is saying it is visible. Is it visible now?
पूछने का मेरा कोई इरादा न था। मोड़ पर मिलेंगे इसका कोई वादा न था।
Shall I move ahead? Please don't take the time. Aryan, close your mic. The module sharing was stopped because of the mirror. But okay, please speak if you're facing any problem because on my side everything is okay. Okay, so we were designing an algorithm which can play checkers, isn't it? So we were choosing the training experience. What could be training given to it, so that that game can be made, that algorithm can be made which can play checkers, isn't it? So we can give that game a direct experience or an indirect experience. The direct experience is when a teacher or some external body tells that the move you have made is correct. That move will make you moving toward a winning side, isn't it? So that would be the direct experience. And indirect experience is when an algorithm learns something from itself, isn't it? Suppose it moves something, move a pug, and according to that, it will tell that okay, I have moved towards um, right direction, isn't it? That is something which learned with indirect experience, isn't it? So indirect experience give rise to the credit assignment problem and is thus more difficult, because if someone told you that you have moved in the right way, that is obviously a direct experience and easy one, because you don't have to think too much. But indirect experience is that you are learning by your own, isn't it? Then you are saying that it is correct, isn't it? Even in our real life algorithm, the real life problem, suppose our parents say something, isn't it? Then definitely we think that yes, whatever they are saying is correct, because we have not that much experience according to, means we don't have that much experience. They have more experience than us, so definitely whatever they are saying is correct, isn't it? But indirect experience is that suppose you learn something by yourself, or suppose you make a decision to marrying someone, isn't it? So that decision of someone, if parents say that is correct, then definitely you will think, okay, this is fine. But you take a decision by yourself that I should marry that boy or that girl, then definitely you have to think twice, thrice, four times that whether I'm marrying someone, whether it is correct or not, isn't it? That is more difficult. So that is direct versus indirect experience. The second kind of experience could be teacher versus learner controlled experience. Similar to the direct experience, the teacher might provide training examples. Teacher may say that, oh, okay, you have moved 1 point left, then to the right, then you have won this game, isn't it? Definitely, if teacher tell everything, teacher have teacher provide training examples or teacher controlled experience, then it will be very easy. Learner controlled experience is that the learner will automatically control its experience, isn't it? Similar to the indirect experience. The learner might suggest an interesting example and ask the teacher for their outcome, isn't it? Or the learner can be completely on its own with no access to correct outcomes, isn't it? So it's a learner controlled or a teacher controlled experience, or a direct experience or the indirect experience. So while playing the checkers, we have to choose whether we are designing a system in which we put direct experience or the indirect experience, isn't it? Also, in this experience, we have to choose how representative is the experience. Means you are taking the experience of someone. For example, while taking the marriage experience of your parents, isn't it? Then you will definitely think that how successful their marriage is. Obviously, then their experience is much useful to you, isn't it? So how representative is the experience? You also think of that, isn't it? You are taking direct experience of someone to play the checkers game. Then definitely you will think how representative is the experience. The experience you are taking of someone, whether it is useful or not useful to your game, isn't it? So how representative it is? You have to also think in that terms. Is the training experience representative of the task the system will actually have to solve? If it is best, It is best if it is, but such a situation cannot systematically be achieved. Isn't it? So while choosing the training experience, you will think that what could be the teacher or learner controlled experience that would you choose, and how representative that experience would be. Isn't it? The experience you are taking to someone, how much represented, how much represented at the actual checkers game, isn't it? So our task is to train checker to play a game against itself, isn't it? We are designing, we are training our system in such a way that it can, initially learn to play games against itself, isn't it? Whatever in your mind, whatever in the mind of a game on one side, the same mind in the game on the other side, isn't it? That is playing games against itself. The next thing in an algorithm to play checker is to design the algorithm to play checker is to choose the target function, isn't it? What is your target? Target is simply to win the game, isn't it? Now you have to choose target function. The target function would should contain uh, that given a set of legal moves, and we want to learn how to choose the best move. So that is your target function. This is also known as optimization problems, because while playing this checkers game, isn't it? Uh, it may possible that you moved one step upward, but according to the algorithm, you should move two step downward, isn't it? Or two step rightward, two step leftward, isn't it? So now it has three choices. When an opponent move one step downward, you can move two step left, two step right, two step upward, two step downward. What of the which of these step would you choose? Isn't it? There could be lot of steps possible. So out of these steps, which would you choose? That is your optimization problem, isn't it? So out of the set of legal moves, which one you choose, isn't it? That is your target function. In our checker playing game, we will take an algorithm that choose move, isn't it? In which it will take the board state B and move it to new state M, isn't it? That is our target function, isn't it? Suppose this is my board state, isn't it? This is my initial board state, and when this black bar moves two step ahead, isn't it? So that is my next board state. So so my target function is that I will take my board state B, and my next board state would be M. So that is my target function. Now how to choose it? That's a difficult question. It is easy to say that our initial board state is B, but our final board state could be M. So out of the how many moves, or out of which kind of move, which is the optimized move that is correct to learn the checker game or to win the checker game, isn't it? Which is very difficult to learn, isn't it? Easier and a related target function learned to is VB2R, which assigns a numerical store to each board. The better the board, the higher the score, isn't it? So in this case of learning checker algorithm, uh, what we will do, we will not take choose move B to M algorithm as our target function. We will take V B to R, that is V is an our target function B, which is board state, initial board state B, and R is the value, that is the numerical value given to the each board, isn't it? Suppose moving left value is 2, moving right value is 2.5, moving two step upward value is 3, isn't it? So if you have some value, then definitely we have to take decision would be very easy, isn't it? Whenever there is value present, isn't it? So we will take the numerical score of each board. So the higher the score, the better the board is, isn't it? So we will take algorithm B to R, not choose move B to M. We will not choose this target function. In our algorithm to play checkers, we take the algorithm B to R in which board state, and the next board state would not be M, but it would be a numerical score. That is our target function. So we have to think in that terms, isn't it? We have not choose this algorithm, we have chosen this algorithm. So this is with any case. You make any algorithm, you have to do all these steps. What target function you choose, isn't it? What training experience you give, or whether you need to give a training experience or not. That is also one of the algorithm. But to initially start with, we are having that we are giving the training experience, and we are choosing the target function B to R. Then after choosing the target function, we have to also think that it would be an operational versus non-operational target function, isn't it? If it is an operational target function, the description must be given, isn't it? For example, the task, the discovering an operational description of the ideal target function V, isn't it? In our case, we have chosen the operational target function, that is V to R. Isn't it? Operation means it will do some operation, and it will tell that what could be the score when you when you made the next move, isn't it? When you move two step left, when you move two step right, or when you move two step upward, or you move diagonally, whenever you move in this way, means a legal move, isn't it? I'm just taking an example. When a horse is suppose a horse can move, in the case of chess, horse can move 2.5 steps, isn't it? So it can move two step upward and then one step left, one step right, or two step left, then one step up, one step down, isn't it? Which one is the best out of these? Each step it can move, isn't it? So and you need to put a score on this. If you don't put a score, if you directly choose the target function B2M, then it is a non-operational target function. And in our case, we have chosen an operational target function in which it is providing a score to it, isn't it? Numerical score to it, a real number to it. So the task here is that discovering an operational description of the target function. So the final output of the target function is the to provide a score. But any target function, how it will provide a score? By the use of function approximation. So we need to find a function which provide the function approximation. We need to learn that function, but anyhow that actual function can often not be learned. It must be approximated, isn't it? So you are designing a checker, playing machine learning algorithm, and out of these board states, it is going to tell what could be the value when you move the next pug, isn't it? When you move, then it will provide you some value. That value need to be provided on the basis of some function, isn't it? Suppose that function is f equal to 2x plus 3, isn't it? So if the board state says, my board state says x is 1, isn't it? So that function says if you move x equal to 1, then the resultant would be 2 3, that is 5, isn't it? When you move two steps down, then x would be 2, isn't it? Then that result would be 2 into 2 plus 3, that result would be 7, and so on, isn't it? So you need to approximate that target function also. So in our case of playing checkers, we are choosing the target function. One of the possible definition of the target function is that if B is in the final board state, that is 1, then V of B is 100, If B is the final board state that is lost, then B of B is minus 100. If B is the final board state that is dropped, then VB is 0. We are writing the rules for this target function B that we have chosen because it will give us some number R, isn't it? So it is providing us the number. In the case of winning the game, it will provide me 100 marks. In the case of losing the game, it will provide me minus 100 marks. In case of tie, it will provide me 0 marks, isn't it? But if it is not in final state, if B is not in final state in the game, then B provides me a new board state B prime, where B prime is the best final board state that can be achieved starting from B and playing optimally and until the end of game. Now this is a definition given to the target function, but the main point to think in this is that what could be the B prime, because we don't know about the B prime, but could be the next board state, which is function saying the optimal one. We don't know about that. That is the tricky part. So this function gives correct value, but it is not operational, isn't it? It's not operational function because we need to choose B prime, isn't it? And that B prime is quite a tricky one. So this definition would not work. We need to do something more in it. We need to choose a representation for the target function. The target function must be consist of expressiveness versus training set size. The more expressive the representation of the target function is, the closer to the truth we get. However, the more expressive the representation, the more training samples are necessary to choose among the large number of representable possibilities. Now, in the case of representation, suppose I will take in this way. Suppose you are showing to some algorithm that it's a ball learning algorithm. If you are showing some balls, isn't it? Or say you are showing red balls, isn't it? That is a classification algorithm in which you have red balls, blue balls, green balls, isn't it? You are training your algorithm for red, blue, green, isn't it? You are showing a number of balls and telling them whenever a red color ball comes, you need to put in red bucket, isn't it? When you get blue balls of this color shape, color size, then you put in the blue bucket, green ball in green bucket, isn't it? Now while testing the algorithm, you show him the red ball, isn't it? You have shown him the red ball, a white ball, isn't it? But our algorithm is trained in a way that you have shown red, blue, and green, isn't it? You have never trained the algorithm while showing in the white ball. Now, how that algorithm will do? Because algorithm will tell you need to put in red, blue, or green bucket, but now you have shown in the white ball, isn't it? So it is your target function should be a representation of your algorithm, isn't it? Now in this case, it is very tricky. Now suppose if you are doing in the case of chess board or your checkerboard game, isn't it? You have trained your algorithm for suppose say 100 board frames, isn't it? But you came across you while playing you came across a new board state, and that board state is for which your algorithm is not trained, isn't it? So your algorithm will choose a move which is not at all optimal because you don't know what to do in that case of board state, isn't it? So while training, you need to choose that your target function should be an expressive one, isn't it? your you, your representation of the target should be expressive, isn't it? The closer to the truth we get, isn't it? We are showing our algorithm the white ball, isn't it? If we have shown in our algorithm that whenever you got red, green, blue, and you don't got any blue ball, then discard that ball, isn't it? If we have trained our algorithm, and when you show the white ball, it will say, okay, this is not in any of these, leave it, isn't it? Your algorithm have known this because you have expressed while this thing in training. Now next thing you have to choose how much training given to it, training set size. Suppose while training the algorithm, you need to train it for the 100 board states. In the case of checkers game, you train it on 100 board states, or you train it for the 10,000 board states. So while training the 100 board states, isn't it? It will take less time to train, and when you train it with the 10,000 board states, it will train with more examples, isn't it? But that example should be expressive one. It should not be the same example, isn't it? It consists of different examples, different board states. The 10,000 board states only of one single move would not affect anything to the algorithm, or 10,000 board states of 10,000 balls of red, green, blue every time will not train your algorithm to what to do in the case of white ball, isn't it? So your training set should be optimal one, and it should be expressive one that will represent your target function. You have to also choose that one. So in the case of checkerboard game, we will choose the target function in this way, that we will take a simple representation for a given board, and its state is represented by the board features. What are those board features? We choose BP as the number of black pieces on the board, RP as the number of red pieces on the board, BK as the number of black kings on the board, RK as the number of red kings on the board, BT as the number of red pieces threatened by black, which can be taken on black next turn, and RT as number of black pieces threatened by red, isn't it? So we will make our algorithm in which on a particular board we will take that how many black pieces are there on the board, because in this checkers game I have told you that there is two kind of pieces are present. One is red, one is black, isn't it? So we have to choose in our algorithm, we have choose in our function, we have choose number of black pieces as BP, number of red pieces as RP, black kings as BK, red kings as RK, number of red pieces threatened by black as BP, number of black pieces threatened by red as RT. So we will make our target function look like this, isn't it? V beat prime as for the board state B, W0 plus W1 into BP, W2 into RP, W3 into BK, W4 into RK, W5 into BT, and W6 into RT, isn't it? So our target is to learn W0 to W6, and for a particular board state, we will look what would be the BP, RP, BK, RK, BT, RT. That we got from the board, but while training the algorithm, we have to train what could be these weights, isn't it? W0 to W6. What could be these weights? The W0 is a constant, and W1, W2, W3, W6 are those which we need to learn, isn't it? Weights W1 to W6 will determine the relative importance of different board features. Black piece is more important than W1 is given higher value, isn't it? RK is less important than W4 is given lower value, and so on. So we have to choose. We have chosen this target function. So this is an example of that. We have training board state. A training board example will contain a specific board state B and the training value V train B for the board state B. This is an example which we taken B equal to 3, RP 0, BK 1 and RK 0, BT 0, RT 0, and the plus 100 is the value. How we have made this plus 100? RP is 0 in this, isn't it? So when RP is 0, RP is what? Number of red pieces. If RP is 0, it means number of red pieces are 0. If number of red pieces are 0, it means there are only black pieces are available on the board. It means the black has 1, isn't it? So we have given it plus 100, isn't it? So this is an approach. We have given its value so that we will train our algorithm in such a way that when you go such a state, isn't it? Number of black pieces are available, but no red pieces are available. So there is no threatened by the black pieces. There is no threatened by the red pieces, isn't it? So this is a case when your black has 1. So we are giving it value plus 100. So we will give this as a intermediate value of V train B. While training B, what could be its value? That is V train B, which is equal to plus 100. So how to assign training values to the intermediate board state? That is also very important, because this is the value we have given for the last. When we have designed this, in this we have made when it is 1 plus 100, when it is lost minus 100, when it is drawn, when 0. But the problem is when it is intermediate board state, from one board state to another board state, isn't it? B prime. That is how to give its value, that is important, isn't it? We have given one a function which will give its value by the intermediate board state, isn't it? So one simple approach is that to train the algorithm V train B, we will give its value by the V successor B. We will think that what could be the next board state and compute its value according to this function, isn't it? So that is one of the approach, that what could be the successor board state, so that what could be its value according to this function we will make it, isn't it? So up till now it is time is going to be done. If you have any doubts, anything, any queries, you can ask. Something is shown on the board. Okay, nothing. So I'm going to take the attendance. If you have any doubt in the meantime, you can ask. Okay, we will continue it next time also. So still it is not completed, isn't it? So up till now what we have done, we have chosen a target function, and we have chosen that how we will make our training experience. We have only chosen 2 things right now, isn't it? Our target is to choose 4 things, isn't it? Training and target function we have chosen. Representation we have started little bit. Now what we'll choose parameter fitting algorithm and evaluate the system. Two important things are left in this. We will follow in the next class. Isn't it? If you have any doubt, you can ask. Okay, fine. I have shared the books. All the books are available on your. I have made available in your uh, algorithm in this. Sorry, um, team software. I don't know. I think it's in the some folder, class notebook folder of your class, in which you got all these, isn't it? So you must uh, find it there. If you need anything, then let me know, isn't it? So I am closing this class. Fine, thank you.